Our world has become dominated with technology. It's hard to imagine doing much of anything without a computer, tablet, or smartphone. By and large, it has made things easier on all of us, but it has also created some additional risks. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we have a special guest today to talk about how you can protect yourself. This is Wealth Wednesday. Hello, welcome back to our show, Wealth Wednesday. If you'd like to learn more about our firm, you can check us out on the web. That is cfswv.com. And you can also see other videos that we've done at our YouTube channel, that is at Commonwealth Financial. So today we have a special guest. His name is Matt Kimpel. He is from Magna, and he's the Vice President of Information Security. He's been in the sector for 16 years, and he's the head of Cybersecurity and Compliance Services. Magna is also the IT consultant for Commonwealth, and if you recognize his last name, he is the son of one of our partners. So let's take a moment to share some basic things that you are helping Commonwealth do behind the scenes to make sure we are doing what we can to protect our clients' vital personal information.
Yeah, well, I appreciate having us on here today, Neil. We provide IT and cybersecurity services for Commonwealth, and when I look at it at a high level, our primary focus is to secure businesses, but also keep them running, right? So expanding on that a little bit, thinking about what we do help desk services. It could be trouble with Microsoft Word, all the way to sophisticated cybersecurity tools that we're delivering to protect, detect, and respond to cyber threats. So an example a little bit further in is that we have cybersecurity analysts that are sitting 24/7, 365 days a week, monitoring activity, and they're also hunting for potential threats in the environment. The idea is that we want to keep Commonwealth's assets, your client information, and also the employees safe.
Let's shift gears and talk about some things that our clients can do to protect themselves. One of them is, first and more frustrating things, is passwords. We have to make them complicated. We have to change them every so often, and then we have to remember them, and it leads to a lot of frustrations, especially with older clients. What suggestions can you offer?
Absolutely. Managing passwords is absolutely frustrating. I think, when we think about what the industry is doing now, they're recommending 12 to 16 character passwords. One of the reasons why that is that the length and complexity can make them almost unhackable. So I'll give you an example. A 12 character password that's using a combination of upper, lowercase, and say numbers. That would take 600 years for it to be cracked in the encrypted value of that. So a strong password certainly has something to be said about it, but some of the ways you can, I guess, look at that from how do I remember all these passwords? Passphrases is another thing. Using passphrases, taking a bunch of words that you know and putting them into a long sentence with combination of special characters or numbers is a helpful thing. But also I guess the other area is that they want us to make them unique, right? Password reuse is a major way that people are getting breached. There's a data breach on one website, and you're also using that in your email. That opens you up to an attack. So that's when password managers come into play. I generally like password managers because you can generate very long passwords. I don't remember my passwords anymore. I remember my password to my password manager. But also, if you think about your cell phones and other applications, a lot of them are starting to use biometrics. It's more of a passwordless approach. Use your fingerprint or use your face as a way to not replace the password, but not have to think about it every single day. And I think that one other thing I'd mention is that it's not uncommon to write your passwords down, and it's okay to do that if you keep them in a secure location. So if you keep them in a safe at home, that is okay. You're not using it every day, but we want to make sure that we can get into our stuff in case we get locked out.
So our iPhones, our browsers, they all ask us to remember passwords for us, whether it's Chrome or Edge or whatever. Is that secure? Is there something else that we should be using instead?
Yeah, so I think generally speaking, browsers historically were not very secure at storing passwords. And one of the reasons why, and you'll think about anytime you use Google Chrome and it asks you to save your credit card, um, that was never stored in an encrypted value. So one of the first things that I've seen in incident response engagements when we're doing digital forensics on a machine that a threat actor had been connected to is that they'll run scripts immediately to take your Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, whatever browser you may be using, and try to download all of the passwords for it. Now, some of them have evolved. Google has Google Chrome Password Manager now. Apple has the iCloud keychain. Those are certainly secure ways because the passwords are encrypted in transit and also at rest. But if you need more options, you need cross-platform support. Things like OnePass, Bitwarden, and Dashlane are really good password managers. But your password manager is only as strong as you create it. So you really want to have a strong master password on your password manager that you can remember, enable two-factor authentication on it, and also on any website you can. The two-factor authentication is certainly a major element of it. But now you can generate those strong passwords that are unique. You'll never remember what they are, how to get into your Facebook without it, but ultimately setting password recovery options on those websites and your password manager gives you the safety net that you can always recover.
Right. So two-factor authentication, just to clarify for someone who's maybe not a computer person like you are, like I am to a degree, what is that exactly?
Sure. Yeah, so the idea is that you're leveraging multiple factors of authentication. And when you think about something you know, something you have, something you are, these are all different elements of two factors. So the idea there is that if I know a password, then I might get a text message or an email code, or maybe I have an application on my phone that has a rolling number. And that is something that I have. And so I get that to my phone, and now even if my password is out in the wild, a threat actor has it. Now it makes it way more complicated for them because they have to now get you to go through an MFA, multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication process that is very tricky for them to do remotely.
Yeah, I've started using my phone to uh, as a credit card replacement, so I don't even take the
Mm-hmm.
credit card out, and it
Yep.
always makes me show my face before it activates the credit card on my iPhone there. So that's a good way of thinking about that. One of the big things is phishing, and that's not where you get your rod and reel and head to the lake. It's phishing with a PH. Give us a description of what that is and what we can be doing to protect ourselves on these issues.
Yeah, this is something that is very prevalent in the business arena, and I think also we see this a lot with personal and individual attacks targeting consumers. It may be an email that tells you that your Geek Squad subscription is or antivirus is renewing. It could be even a romance scam, or you may buy something off of a site like eBay or Craigslist, and they do an overpayment scam. So no matter what it looks like, it's vital to have some key elements to identify those types of attacks, not only for your personal information, but your finance. People lose money with a lot of these types of these scams. And so the first thing I always tell people is be skeptical, right? Scammers will always pose as a trusted entities, but you need to verify identity. If somebody calls you and they ask you for your credit card information, tell them you'll call them back. Call the number on the back of your card. Don't just give it to them. This is the best way to protect that personal information. If somebody asks you for your social security card number, for example, you want to make sure you verified identity first. When we think about our text messages and our emails, we're getting links, we're getting pictures. We should be very hesitant about clicking on any of that. And also, if you're on a computer, you can hover over a link and see if it's not the actual link, right? So there's some things that you can do or steps, but if the website doesn't look right, I would say don't click on it. Some other things you can do is review your financial statements, right? If you see something, report any discrepancies immediately to your bank. Monitor your credit. Some people are going as far as locking their credit now, where we're going to lock our credit files. But you can do that with all three major credit bureaus, and you can request your report on an annual basis for free. But I think the main thing you have to think about with scammers is it's always a pressure tactic. You need to ignore that. They will always want to make you act quickly to make a mistake. So take your time to verify the information. And above all else, trust your instincts. If it doesn't feel right or it's too good to be true, it usually is probably that way.
Right. And I'll throw in there also that, they prey on fear. So oftentimes one of the phone scams that we regularly see from a financial standpoint is you get a call from someone claiming they're the IRS or the Social Security Administration. I can assure you that the IRS does not call you. The Social Security Administration does not call you. They send you letters instead. They don't even send emails. So be aware of those things as you're doing that. Matt, the last question I have would be advice for our viewers who own their own businesses. What advice would you have for them?
Yeah, I think, the digital asset aspect, it's critical to protect. And so there's a lot of sensitive data that you want to protect, but also think about client reputation, and also to make sure you're ensuring your business continuity. These are all reasons why we protect our digital assets. But I look at cybersecurity as a journey. I think that's one of the most important things to think about. You can't just implement something and that's it. It requires a layered approach to defend against the sophisticated attacks of today. So business owners need to stay vigilant and continue to adapt to these threats. So my recommendation always is if you don't have that expertise in-house, it's best to work with a cybersecurity expert or consultants that can look at the cybersecurity posture of your environment, make sure it's up to date and it's robust.
So you do this for a living, and your company works with businesses all over the country, and you're not really geographically constrained. If we have a small business owner who wants to get a hold of you to help make their systems more secure, how do they do that?
Certainly. Yeah, you can visit us on our website at magna5.com. That's Magna 5.com. And my email is mattkimpel@magna5.com. So matt.kimpel@magna5.com.
Right. And we'll put links to those on our blog post as well as here on our YouTube channel. So if you want to reach out to Matt, you can do that. I'd like to thank everybody for watching today, and we will be back next week. Thanks to Matt for providing some good insight for us. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.